Extend your mind to quit porn. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh. In this video, let's talk about three things. Number one, let's talk about what your mind is and how you can extend it rather than project it. That is key to increasing your self-value so you can feel great about yourself and get into the world on purpose. But then number two, what we're going to talk about is your brain pattern, how your brain performance pattern is wrapped up in and associated with your mind and the extension or projection. And then of course, stay with me until number three, where we talk about your brain hack for the day on how you can increase your self-value through extending your mind. And stay tuned till the end because today I'm going to share a poem from Shel Silverstein from my daughter's 5th grade graduation yesterday. Nothing more inspiring than a bunch of 5th graders who are leaving elementary and going into middle school. Super cool and a great poem. Okay, let's dig in. Number one, what is your mind? So your mind it's an output of how your brain is performing, and it's a tool to be used. Now, like any tool, it can be used well if you're on purpose and intentional, and if you're not, it can be used poorly. So, it can be used for good or it can be used for evil. And what did my husband say the other day when he walked by? That an idle mind is the devil's playground, is what he said. He was off to do something very early in the morning, and he's like, you know what they say. So a busy mind or an intentional mind, not overly busy, but intentional mind, is one that's on purpose and is extending itself for good rather than just for self-pleasure. So let's break it down. Your mind is a tool. How can you use it so that you feel great and you help other people feel great too? It's through extension. Extension is when you're on purpose, the energy in your brain and your body and your mind flows out from you, and other people will attune to the energy level that you're at. So when you're on purpose in your work, your relationships, and your hobbies, that extension can happen. So it's kind of like the chicken and the egg, but it's the reverse of probably what you're thinking. When you get on purpose in your work, you feel so good doing a thing that's important to you that you're good at. And what that does is you are able to validate yourself from within. And so then you're able to extend that self-value out. But it is requisite on you being on purpose in your work, your relationships, and your hobbies so that it can extend out from you. So when I make these videos, this is one of the most important things in my life, is being able to be there to help you learn how to come out of the screen, put porn behind, get on purpose with your families, create the best life that you want for yourself, and enter this transformational journey that you'll stay on forever if you're lucky enough to engage with it. So when I sit down for work, I'm jazzed up. I feel great. There's nothing else I want to be doing right now. When I'm with my family, there's nothing else I want to be doing than to be with them and to help them succeed. So that creates the value from within. So I don't feel the need to be externally validated from outside. So if I have people who are haters who don't like my message, that's okay, because it's important to me to be able to help people. If my kids don't like what I have to offer them, I don't need them to validate my parenting if I feel like I'm doing a good job. Plus, I always check with experts to make sure I'm doing what is known to be successful. So when I'm doing that, I can stay on track and on purpose and extend my love out to you and out to my family because I'm doing things on purpose and I feel valued from inside. So now what that does is I don't have to go to other sources to feel good about myself. Of course, I have friends and I love to hang out with them. I don't need them to give me value for myself. I've already got it and I'm extending it out to them. I don't need to seek it out in the phone. I don't need likes and I don't need thumbs up. That is great if that happens because my mission is so important, but I'm not using that to validate myself. So you see what I'm saying? Okay, so what's the polar opposite of that? Projection. Now, projection is actually using your mind for for less than good, less than optimal. The way that projection works is you perceive other people as attacking you. And so if you don't feel like you have that self-value and that self-esteem and that strength of character from the inside, you don't feel like you have integrity or dignity, you feel less than on the inside. And we know that a porn habit does that because it creates shame and it perpetuates shame. And when you're carrying shame around, you can't feel strong on the inside. So then what happens is you project that out. Instead of projecting out this strong integrity self-value, you're projecting out attack or irritability and angst because you're feeling that on the inside. You can only give what you have. Projection is when you see problems everywhere because you're not feeling great on the inside. And so you might perceive people as attacking and you might attack people. That's what anger and irritability is. But check this out. When you peel the layers back, you realize it's actually because you're attacking yourself. And in that self-sabotage and that self-attack that porn plays a part in, you think you're going to porn for pleasure and you are seeking pleasure and you're getting pleasure in the moment, but it's perceived as a self-attack the other times. And I'm going to talk about this in a second. But what happens is you think that self-attack has weakened you. So then you learn attacking weakens people because I've attacked myself and I've weakened myself. So I'm going to attack others and weaken them too. But that's the polar opposite of what we want to do here. What we want is for you to strengthen yourself so you can strengthen others and everybody becomes stronger instead of everybody becoming weaker. So extension of your mind is you're using your mind on purpose to make yourself stronger and everybody else around you. Projection is I feel weakened and I'm using my mind to weaken others around me, generally because of the shame associated with porn use or the discomfort that you're trying to bury with the porn use. Okay, so now let's move on to number 2, the brain performance pattern that's associated with each of those. When it comes to extension, extension is the optimal brain pattern. It's the brain pattern of in the middle, medium speed, calm focus, the zone, flow state. It flows out from you so that you can do what you're designed to do. You feel great because your brain is in the middle. It's staying here, so even if you get stressed out, you're a little stressed out. If you're fatigued and overwhelmed, you're a little fatigued and overwhelmed, but you're able to stay on purpose. That's what happens when you get on purpose in your life. So we're talking about extension of your mind here, but when you train your brain using neurofeedback, you keep it in the middle. That's why I'm a huge proponent of using technology to keep your brain in the middle. Then you use your mind to keep it in the middle where you got it using the technology. And I'll put the link for the Muse Brain Training headband below if you're interested in getting it. I use mine all the time. And I've made videos that explain it if you want an explanation. It's a headband that you can use that literally brings the electrical energy in your brain into the middle. Now, the opposite brain pattern for projection is out in the extremes. So what happens is your brain's running much too fast, anxiety mode, stress mode. It's also simultaneously running very slow, overwhelm mode, lack of motivation, lack of focus mode. So you're out here in the extremes, and I call it the pendulum effect. You're swinging back and forth between stressed out, anxious, overwhelmed, lack of motivation, and the more you swing back and forth, the worse you feel. It puts you in survival mode. So projection, which usually incorporates feeling anxious and angsty and attacking people and irritability and always seeing things as going wrong, that is survival mode. And your brain may have been stuck in survival mode since you were a kid or an adolescent, and you've learned to use porn as a self-soothing technique to be able to get by and to survive. And so it's difficult to be motivated and to get focused on goals or creativity when you're surviving. Extension is thrive mode. So when you're no longer in survival mode, you're able to tap into your creativity and do your best work and implement it and feel awesome about it. So I want you to get into extend mode, this medium speed where you're flowing and you're in the zone and life is good. And you can do it and you do deserve to do it. All right, which leads to number 3, our brain hack for the day. I want you to get your journal out and think of the number one thing that you were put on this earth to do. Even if nobody else thinks you should do it, even if nobody else thinks it's a good idea to go online and talk about how bad porn is, yes, I'm referring to myself. Think of that thing that you have in your heart that you want to do, even if other people don't like it, and go do it. Because when you get on purpose, you won't need to fly into the screen to offset pain or discomfort, and you'll be extending, not projecting, and the need for self-pleasure will go away because you'll be on purpose. Now, let me read you this poem from my beautiful daughter's 5th grade graduation. It's by Shel Silverstein, who's a very famous poet, and it's called The Voice. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside. So today, I want you to listen to that voice and heed what that voice is telling you and have the courage to go do it. Courage only exists when you feel a little fear. So when you feel the fear and you go do that thing, you are transforming. If you're not feeling growing pains, then there's likely not the transformation that you're looking for. So feel the fear, realize it's not going to kill you, and move forward on this transformational journey, doing the thing that you want to do and you were put on this earth to do. Have the courage to do it today. It's going to pay off for you. Okay, I hope that helps you out. If you're looking for help on this journey, please go over to drtrishleigh.com. There's programs of different shapes and sizes. There's digital programs, there's personal coaching, there's home neurofeedback coaching. Me and my team, we're here to help you, and we'd love to be part of your journey. So many people need support on this journey. Sometimes you're your own teacher and you're not the teacher you need. You need a teacher who can pull you forward, and that's what we offer. All right, and until next time, control your brain or it'll control you.